make cucumber pancake with the cream of wheat. I call it Rava kakadi bhakri, and that's my favorite dish for the breakfast. So we take a cucumber, cut off the edges, and then usually my mom used to peel the skin, but I prefer the fiber content of it, so I prefer not to peel it. You can either peel it or not peel it, and then grate it. So you get it this way, and you also have the green chilies pounded into
in a mortar and pestle.
Into a coarse.
You can use a cheese grater to grate the cucumber.
And so I'm putting the grated cucumber in a pot. You can put the seeds and everything.
They're all edible.
It's all healthy. And then you put a little bit of the grated coconut.
You get them pre-grated at Indian stores.
And a little bit of salt. Jaggery powder. And yogurt. So you and sorry, I forgot the chilies. I had grated some chilies and pounded them and put the green chilies in here as well. Maybe 2 or 3 depending on your spice level. So you have the sweetness from the jaggery, the spiciness from the green chilies, and now I'm adding some yogurt. This is the Mountain High fat-free plain yogurt, and the sourness with the yogurt. So you have a blend of all these unique tastes coming all together. The moistness from the cucumbers and the softness from the grated coconut.
We got the yogurt from Albertsons. It's Mountain High fat-free plain yogurt.
And then you put a little bit of water. You mix it all together. You try to taste it and see if you have the right taste to it. If you need to add a little more of salt or a little more of jaggery. Instead of jaggery, you can also add some sugar. So here I'm going to taste it. I think I might need a little more of the salt. And just a teeny bit of sugar to give that nice sweet flavor.
But don't put too much.
Maybe a couple of tablespoons.
That too, if you need it.
Then when you know that you are ready with the base, you add the cream of wheat. Now for this much of my batter, I'm adding probably 2 cupfuls at least of the cream of wheat to have a consistency which is non-flowing easily. You have to put a little bit of cardamom powder, which is also called as elaichi powder, in the batter. And I put a little bit initially a little while ago, and now I'm adding a little more. So mix it. Again, it adds a nice flavor and aroma to the whole dish. Thank you. So you heat the pan with a high flame. You put Amul ghee in a bowl, melt it, and then put a little bit to grease the pan. The ghee adds good flavor to it. In case you don't have ghee, you can put regular oil.
Not butter.
The butter will give it a black color, so you don't want butter. And the cream of wheat that you had added now got soaked. It has absorbed all the liquid, and this is the consistency that you have right now. It's pretty thick batter with all the ingredients that we have added. And I'm going to take a scoopful.
Hear that lovely satisfying
Lower the
sizzle.
flame, and then with your hand gently pat it so that it's uniformly spread on the pan.
Don't worry, the batter will not be hot on the surface as long as you don't push down too hard.
And make sure even the edges are well flattened. You don't want the edges to be too thick and the center to be too thin, and it will be hard for you to flip. After that, increase the flame to high, and then most importantly, cover it with a lid. So after a couple of minutes, you try to lower the flame if you feel that it's too high, and then try to open it. It should have this kind of color on the surface. You try to gently put the spatula around the edges and then quickly flip it. The flipping is an art that you can probably miss it for the first time. It needs a lot of practice to have the entire dosa or the bhakri to be flipped in one piece. You can add a little bit of ghee on the surface and on the edges. And now you don't necessarily need to cover it. You want that nice and crispy texture. If you feel like you want that soft texture, you can just keep it for a minute or so and then it's ready. If you want nice crispy texture, then you need to flip it a couple of times to make sure it's crispy. It's turning crispy on the edges over here. And that's it. Your Rava kakadi bhakri is ready.
Enjoy!